Hey guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to my channel Saumya's Bookstation. On this channel, I spread all the book love that I can. So if you like my videos, please like and share them and subscribe to my channel. And please do not forget to press the bell icon so that every time I post a video, you get notified. So how many times has it happened that you pick up a book and you like it so much in the beginning that you have this amazing feeling that you have this awesome book in your hand that you are going to rave on and on about. But as you read that book, you realize that there are things in that book that are not working out for you, and eventually that book lets you down, it disappoints you. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 7 such books that started off pretty well for me, but then something or the other about those books did not really click for me and they ended up disappointing me. This list might contain books that you like, so please bear in mind that everybody is entitled to their own opinions. So let's get started. The first book is Folk by Paizo Gilbert. This is a 2018 release. It's a pretty new book. The story is set in an island village called Neverness, and it contains the folklores from this island village. So basically these are imagined folklores because obviously there is no place called Neverness. So each chapter in this book feels like an individual story, but it is connected to the next chapter in the sense that there are recurring characters, and sometimes what happened in the first chapter is talked about in the later chapters. I'm not going to say that I did not like anything about this book. There were portions in this book that were enchanting, they were magical and were nice to read, but they were very less in comparison to the parts that I did not like, which I felt were confusing, sometimes written without context. Some background would have been nice, and also disturbing at times. The next book is American Born Chinese by Jean Luan Yang. So this is a graphic novel about a Chinese American boy named Jin Wang, and he's the only Chinese American boy in his class, so he feels terribly left out. So when a boy from Taiwan joins in his class, he really wants to stay away from him because he does not want to be classed as a fob himself. Now, fob is a term that is used in the United States. It's short for fresh off the boat, and it's basically used for immigrants. It's not a very good term. So a lot of other stories are taking place in this book, and they kind of come together towards the end of the book. So the message that this book has tried to convey is that you should be proud of who you are and you should not change yourself to fit in. And I think that's a wonderful message, but I did not particularly enjoy how it was conveyed in the book. I thought that the way it was told was kind of muddled up. I was not able to understand a few things in this book. I got the overall idea, but there were points in this book that I missed because of the way it was executed. That really hampered my experience of reading this graphic novel. The next book is Endless Night by Agatha Christie. So yes, a book by one of my favorite authors has made it to this list. So this is a story about a guy named Michael Rogers. He's practically penniless. He doesn't have any money, but he's certainly a very charming man. So he discovers this beautiful house, and as luck would have it, he also gets to meet the heiress of this house. They kind of get together and they decide to move into that beautiful house. So everything is going perfect, but one day an old lady comes up to Michael and tells him about some ancient curse that is going to wreck their lives. He does not really believe her, but as the time passes, things start getting evil and dark. When I started reading it, I was enjoying it, but the reason that I have included this book in this list is that I was able to predict what was going to happen, and that's a pretty big letdown in a murder mystery. The next book is The Reluctant Fundamentalist by Mohsin Hamid. So this story takes place in a cafe in Lahore where a Pakistani man is talking to an American man, telling him about his life in America years back, how he had fallen in love with an American woman, how he had loved his American life, but all those relationships severed because of circumstances. So the story has been narrated in a way that is unique. It's a monologue-like way in which the story unfolds, where the Pakistani guy talks about his life back in America. The more you like a book, the more you expect from it as you turn the pages. And for me, this book did not live up to my expectations. It's as simple as that. It does deliver a very strong message. Well, the reason that I was disappointed by this book was that I was expecting something more to happen in the story, and it did not happen. Some people will say that the message is so strong that there is no need for any other thing. I feel otherwise. The next book is Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. So Sumire is an aspiring writer, and she falls in love with this woman who's 17 years older than her, and her name is Miu. Now Miu is successful and she's glamorous. Sumire on the other hand is not successful, and also she's not the most stylish person around. So Sumire has a best friend named Kay with whom she shares everything about her life, and Kay is in love with Sumire and he really wants to confess his feelings to her. So this is kind of a love triangle. So one day Miu calls Kay and tells him that Sumire has disappeared from an island. I really loved the first half of the story. I really enjoyed it. I was loving every bit of the story. In the second half, I did not know what was happening. I mean, in Haruki Murakami books, there is always room for interpretation. I appreciate that. But in this book, there was so much to interpret, and there were things that were not making sense to me. There were events in the story that I was not able to understand. I wasn't able to know the head and tail of those events. I mean, how did those things even happen? What is the logic behind it? I did not understand, and that's the reason why this book let me down terribly in the second half. The next book is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. So this is a collection of poems on the topics the hurting, the loving, the breaking, the healing. Now, honestly, there were some poems in this book that were just breathtaking and I loved them. But then there were some poems which I read and I just did not understand the point of those poems. They were kind of trashy and it seemed like that they're just there in the book. The book would have been good without those poems too. And there were quite a few of such poems. The next book is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. So Dimple Shah has figured her life out completely. She's a career-oriented person and she wants to make it big in her life. Rishi Patel, on the other hand, is a perfect son. He listens to his parents. Dimple and Rishi are complete opposites. So this story is taking place in the United States. Dimple and Rishi are two American kids and they're just out of school and their parents are kind of interested that their children should, sort of get together and they should get married eventually. This is a very predictable story. Opposites attract. I mean, when you read the synopsis of the story, it is painfully cliched. And I picked this book up thinking that the entire story couldn't be possibly given away in the synopsis, but I was wrong. It's very, very cliched and very cheesy. This book had nothing new to offer. The writing was definitely good, but that alone cannot salvage the entire story that is so predictable. So these are the 7 books that ended up letting me down, and that's why they have made it to this list. Please let me know in the comment section which books disappointed you. I would love to hear from you guys. That's it for the video. I hope you like it. If you want to connect with me on my social media, then the links are in the description box. I'll be back with my next video super soon. Bye!